You are now tuned in to the new Old Heads podcast, brought to you by BringingDownTheBand.com. No bad ideas, Coleman Dental, and Printfinity. I am Major 7th. I make beats and I have the t-shirts to prove it. And to my left, as always, rocking that Printfinity joint, is the one and only Lonegevity.
Hello.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Spectacular.
Great. Thanks for the thumbs up. To my left, as always, rocking that Braves joint. Took me back to my childhood. Shout out to David Justice, Maddox, Tom Glavine.
Word.
Yeah, it was a good team. Bobby Cox.
Didn't Tom Glavine have 37?
Let me give my man his just due.
I don't know.
Real quick.
Sorry, anyways.
To my left, as always, the one and only DJ Jay Diff.
Salutations.
Good. What's going on, brother? You good?
I am here.
Good to see you back, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Far too kind. Y'all held it down, though.
Appreciate it. Shout out to Jay Moore, who always pinch hits for us. We appreciate you, brother. And to my right, not paying attention, rocking that
absolutely paying attention.
Rocking that No Bad Ideas hat, the incomparable DJ Spoolz.
Hello, Michael.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
Doing pretty good, man. How's life?
Life is busy, man, but all is well. I can't complain.
Okay. You seem positive.
Trying to be, man.
Looking positive and healthy.
Appreciate that.
Right.
Likewise, dude.
Right on. Episode 38. I don't have a sports number. I don't have a significance for 38, so I'm just going. I'm out of this one.
I'm on it.
Can you find some Spoolz?
Let's see.
Tom Glavine was 47, not 37.
Okay.
Yeah. 38. 𝗏𝗏 Not a fan. We're not gonna call this the 𝗏𝗏 fan. Or can't do that.
Yeah, we can't do 𝗏𝗏.
Nah. He's a buster.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Nothing.
We'll just have to call this episode 38.
He's a mark-ass buster.
I was going to go with a buster-ass trick.
Yeah.
Sleep with the fishes.
He could be both of them.
Yeah. He's all of them.
Sleep with the fishes.
All the combinations.
All the above.
Yeah. We see you alone with that Compton talk.
What's 38, though?
I don't have anything, brother. I really don't.
How about 38 Special, the band?
How about this is Indianapolis, Indiana.
Okay.
38th Street is a staple in this town.
There we go. I like that.
Oh, okay.
This is the 38th Street episode.
The 38th Street episode.
I like that.
We in agreement on that?
Sure. That sounds great.
Yeah. So the new Old Heads podcast, episode 38, a.k.a.
38th
Street episode.
Hey, real talk. I remember back in the day,
mm-hmm.
on Sunday nights, this is back when you could actually just hang out and be cool and all that stuff. This is probably showing my age.
Okay.
But you could literally ride 38th Street from the West Rink all the way up until about Arlington on the east side on a Sunday night until the sun came up.
Oh, yeah.
Like, and all it would do, like, cops would come and push you out of this parking lot. You just move to the next one up.
Yep.
And you would do that all the way up pretty much until the sun came out.
I just like cruising up and down 38th Street, period. I mean, it was, it was fun. Not at 5 o'clock on like a weekday, you know what I mean? But on like a Sunday or a Saturday night almost,
Yeah, it was good times, man. Wasn't nobody getting shot up or nothing. It was just how everybody had their cars out with the bangs and
everybody
speaking of cars out, I was downtown this weekend, man. And
super check.
Definitely saw a lot of dope cars this Saturday downtown. For sure. Yeah, man.
That's what's up.
I like just watching the cars go by. Man.
I'm gonna give me a 442 one of these days.
Nice.
Oh yeah.
With the dual.
Yeah.
Nice.
You balling?
I mean,
you a baller?
One of these days.
Okay, I like that perspective. That's what's up. Think positive. Think forward.
Yeah. Or a Wildcat. I might get a Wildcat too.
Oh, my mom loves a 69 Buick Wildcat.
Yeah.
That's like her favorite car ever. Yeah.
Stock though.
Yeah, stock.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if anything ever happens where I'm popping, shout out to everybody that's popping out there in them streets, I will get my mother that Wildcat.
There you go.
All right, man. 38th Street episode.
Yeah.
I thought we should start with someone who I call a hip-hop staple, a brother that I have a lot of respect for. I'm a huge fan. I've become more of a fan as he's continued to just expand, and take it past hip-hop to the community in Atlanta. Killer Mike, on Monday, by the Atlanta City Council, had a Killer Mike Day. So there's a day named after him in Atlanta, and I think that's dope for two reasons. One, for the community, him being from that area, and two, for the hip-hop community, having somebody to get an honor like that with a dude that's from the South He's always been lyrical to me. I've always thought he's been underrated, and I just love the things that he does for just the community, man. Like, he's really, really a positive guy, positive brother from what I've seen online. So I think that's dope.
That is.
I completely agree with you, man.
That's a solid nod from the city of Atlanta.
Yeah.
For Killer Mike. I mean, he definitely lives beyond his name, because when you see somebody named Killer Mike,
right, yeah,
you automatically probably assume that he's on has a whole nother agenda. You know what I'm saying?
Especially being a rapper.
Yeah,
exactly,
definitely.
Yeah,
but he definitely promotes positivity, making sure that people are focusing on the right issues and things at hand. He's a dope rapper. I mean, he's from that Dungeon family cloth.
He is from that tree, man.
Yeah,
he's from that family tree. Yeah,
I think he donated some odd $1 million to have like a reservoir put in Atlanta. I think that was a part of what was behind it being Killer Mike Day, if I'm not mistaken.
I actually got a.
Is that the drill?
Yeah, Driller Mike.
It's called Driller Mike, and there's it's the former Bellwood quarry. It's off Lois Road in Northwest Atlanta. The drill is being used to help create a reservoir, to Spool's point. It's going to hold 2.4 billion gallons of drinking water for Atlanta.
Agua.
Yeah,
awesome.
So shout out to Killer Mike, man, that's big.
I must admit, when I was, I don't know, I guess younger, I was never super into Killer Mike.
Right.
So I have to thank, and not for any other reason other than I would hear him on like what was that Bone Crusher joint? Like he was on the remix for that, and I was like, he just seems like he's just super hype, dude. And I had him wrong completely. Yeah. Ace1, my man Ace, shout out to my brother.
Shout out to Ace.
Was like, Spoolz, you have to listen to rap music.
That's a dope album.
He was like, you absolutely have to. And I was just like, okay. And I was listening to rap music yesterday. You know what I mean? Like, it's an incredible album. He's a very, very intelligent person.
Yes.
And community oriented.
I was going to say he seems to care a lot about people in general.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, dude, Killer Mike's, he's dope, man. He's definitely like made his way up my favorite list over the years. You know what I mean?
Killer Mike Render.
I actually visited his barbershop. I went down there for the 20th anniversary of Outkast.
Oh, word.
Playalistic.
Okay. Nice.
Or their 20-year concert.
Nice.
And I went to his barbershop on the southwest side of Atlanta.
He's got multiple shops.
Yeah, now he does. I think he has like 2 or 3 of them now.
The dude is he's sharp. I mean, and financially, like so, you know, we spent the last couple episodes talking about Jay and this new album and like all the financial responsibility and like the grown up. Like, Mike's been on that for a long time.
Very good point.
You know, now he might not have done an entire album about it, but he's always dropped those jewels and gems over time, I felt like. But then, like, furthermore, he's always also check mark.
Thanks.
Furthermore, he's also
shake these nuts.
Come on now.
Hey, edit that out, bro.
Yeah. Not cool, bro. But made me lose my train of thought. Anyhow, he's dope, and I think that's, you know, it's good that he speaks on a lot of panels and does a lot of forums and stuff like that too, about financial responsibility, about being self-sufficient in your own way. I mean, I heard him talking about like growing your own food, and just stuff like. I mean, he's just a sharp cat, man. So
shout out to Killer Mike, man.
Yeah, congrats to him.
That's real big.
Well deserved.
Something else that caught my attention. I actually saw this today while I was at work, listening to a podcast.
A podcast.
I was listening to Undisputed, Skip and Shannon, and there was Michael Vick was on there yesterday. The segment was dope.
Speaking of Atlanta.
Yeah, speaking of Atlanta, right? Which the segment was dope, but today there was another comment that came out, and to paraphrase it, I hope I get this correct, he basically said that Michael Vick's game wasn't suited for certain teams in the NFL, so that's a major reason why he doesn't have a job, and it also...
Colin Kaepernick.
I mean, I'm sorry. Good cat. Sorry about that. Kaepernick. Cap. Shout out to Cap. His game doesn't fit certain schemes and blah, 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 blah. And then he topped it off by saying that he probably should cut his hair to change his image and try to conform to be able to obtain a position in the league. I thought that was quite ridiculous. I do not agree with that. I'm
Very.
100% against that comment. It makes no sense to me.
But he didn't say that on
It was after Undisputed.
No, that wasn't on Undisputed.
Okay, it was not on. It wasn't on Undisputed. Okay.
It was on some show though. I remember.
Yeah, it was on the show. It was actually a whole nother show.
They just covered it on Undisputed.
Shannon spoke about
Gotcha.
it.
That's
Okay.
what it was.
Gotcha. I just don't. I'm trying to find a reason why his hair. I mean, I know what the obvious reason is, but the way they were trying to explain it, I'm like, it doesn't make sense.
I think he missed the point.
He missed the entire point.
But from where Mike's coming from, I think it makes sense for him because he
Did something.
He did something. He had to go through that same type of thing. But his point was, I was trying to play in the NFL.
Right.
Collins is more like, that's not what I'm necessarily trying to do. I'm trying to make a stand.
That's a great point.
Yeah, he missed a whole boat on that one, man. And it's very irresponsible for him to even take that or make that statement to me, especially considering the situation that he was in.
Right.
And the people that had his back.
Right.
Even though, I mean, you shouldn't be, the whole dog thing.
Sure.
That's terrible. I mean, you shouldn't have a dog ring and fighting and killing dogs and burying them in the backyard and whatever.
Sure.
No, that's not cool. But this man, Colin Kaepernick, was standing or actually kneeling for something.
Right.
And his hair has nothing to do with that. And for Mike Vick to say that his play in the past 2 years was kind of subpar. Mike Vick's play in years before that was subpar, and he was still getting jobs, at least as a backup or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Colin Kaepernick is better than at least, and this is being like modest, he's better than at least 75% of the second string quarterbacks that got contracts right now.
I would agree with that.
Skip Bayless made a point that his completion percentage was higher than, I believe it was 8 to 10 quarterbacks that got starting gigs over Cap.
Mm-hmm.
So I think everybody is trying to avoid the elephant in the room in terms of why he's not getting opportunities.
Yeah.
I personally think, in my opinion, his hair has nothing to do with it.
Nothing.
It has nothing to do with his playing ability. It has nothing to do with any of that, because we had a coach, what's my man's name that coaches Seattle? That used to coach USC.
Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll. So Pete Carroll's like, oh yeah, he started potential. He be a great backup for somebody, but he didn't pick him up. So I'm like, why are we trying to dance around and skip around what the real reason is?
Keep it real.
As to why he's not being employed by the league, and it has everything to do with the stance that he took. That has nothing to do with the game of football. Spoolz, I'm coming to you.
Yeah, no, I agree. I liked what I like what Shannon Sharp had to say as far as all of it, because it was very poignant. You know what I mean? And like Mike, like you guys already said, he kind of seemed to miss the point, and just Mike Vick and Colin Kaepernick did two completely different things. Michael Vick committed a felony.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. He went to jail for that.
Yeah. And you know what? Before this comment, I liked Mike Vick, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I was like, that man.
Yeah.
When he came
Mike.
back to the NFL, I was like, good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like Mike.
He did his time. You know what I mean? He should, if someone wants to pick him up, he should be able to play. They did. He had a few good games. You know what I mean? After he came back, like, I liked it. But that comment, like, Colin Kaepernick's not concerned about image. It's two completely different things. When you commit a felony and you're trying to come back in the NFL, you probably have to be concerned with your image. What Colin Kaepernick is doing, obviously has tremendous social and political and ties to what's going on in the United States, and like image that's not important.
It's not. What Vic did essentially is feed the bear.
Yep.
And the bear is, in America, if you are black in America and you look a certain way, you're automatically typecasted as a certain type of person.
Right.
So this afro that Kaepernick is wearing is supposed to be scary now. So because he wears an afro,
what Michael Vick essentially said is he needs to stop being scary to white people.
That's exactly what he said.
Yeah, and I think that's
he said
really
I was doing
that
the same
he said
thing,
that.
and then I did this, and I had to go in front of a
Two
judge, and I had to be
completely-
presentable. Yeah, No,
different situations.
he's kneeling for you essentially.
Yeah.
And you're blind. You don't even see that.
Yeah.
And you're comparing it to your situation.
I mean,
and all you're doing is, like I said, feeding the bear. You're painting a negative image for you. So in other words,
you're scaring or you're pissing off the white people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The severity of Mike's situation versus Cap's is like, I don't even know why we're
it's completely different.
It's totally different.
And what Shannon Sharpe said was really,
I was proud of Shannon.
I mean, it is he. But in saying what he said, he reinforced everything Terry just said.
Mm-hmm.
Facts. Lone, jump in. You got anything on this? Or?
No, you guys have already said it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, there's nothing really to add to it. I felt like Mike came from the stance of a very particular stance that was very, like I said, of trying to play football again.
Right.
He missed the point to me because his goal there wasn't, Colin's goal isn't to play football
extremely
again.
Loud. Sorry, Long.
It'd only be loud in his mic, so.
Oh, okay.
I don't know who gets the check mark on that.
I can't even see you
because he really didn't even have to say anything.
I can't see you, so that's why it bothered me a little bit. Sorry.
Nah, but that's all. I agree that I can see from the outside people be like, oh yeah, these circumstances are actually similar. They're not similar at all. There's nothing similar.
Trying to see everything in the most positive, trying to be as positive about this kind of weird situation.
Right.
Perhaps that was Mike Vick's way of trying to give him some sort of advice based on his own situation.
Yeah,
but again, to the same point you just made, he could have articulated, and he didn't. I understand our situations are very different. That never really seemed to come out of Mike Vick's mouth, unless I missed it.
No, it didn't.
And I think,
you're right.
like asserting that as a part of his argument we wouldn't be talking about this right now.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Unless maybe he doesn't know that.
Yeah, or doesn't recognize.
I mean, hindsight 2020 is always real vibrant and visual. So after everybody said this, he might backtrack and try to say that.
Yeah,
right.
But we all know what you meant.
And I'm not going to act like I can't necessarily say I dislike Michael Vick now just completely because he said this. But I just thought it was not a. I don't know, man. Not the most supportive comment.
Nah, it wasn't at all.
When it comes to topics that are, I guess, down this path, there's going to come a time where you're going to have the stage to be able to make a very, very impactful statement at some point if you're an athlete or anybody that has a huge following like a Vick or, Shannon Sharpe's a Hall of Famer, right? So this he's very recognizable on TV outside of being on the show. People know who Shannon Sharpe is if you watch sports. Yeah. Michael Vick is a guy that has a cult following, man. Like in Atlanta is ridiculous. So
he was
huge.
I think he signed before all that stuff happened. I want to say at that time the largest contract in NFL history, if I'm not mistaken.
The Michael Vick experience, like it was crazy, right? So
he was the original number 7.
Exactly. So I say that to say there's a point in time where you have to. You got to use that platform when they throw you the baton on certain stuff. That was his time to be able to say, in my opinion, hey, I get what Cap's doing. I support what he's doing, even if I don't agree 100% with what he's doing. I see where he's coming from, but that has nothing to do with him not having a job in the league right now. Yeah. We know where that's coming from. I was looking for Mike to just come out.
That's that NFL stuff, man. So, like, Shannon Sharpe he's not tied to the NFL anymore.
Facts. Agreed.
He can say whatever he wants to say.
He sure can. That's a very good point.
NFL's not cutting him a check.
That's a very good point.
Mike Vick is still trying to get this money out here.
That's fair.
So they could have pulled him to the side. I mean, this is just that's making up a whole scenario.
No, I mean
very good point.
Not
they could have
like
told him to say this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's fair. Because how does no NFL team pick up Colin Kaepernick?
I
mean, honestly,
I was gonna say he's obviously maybe he's trying to get a job.
Yep. I mean that kind of goes hand in hand.
Yeah. Trying to get that last check, huh?
Yeah.
That's fair.
That goes hand in hand with it because
he had to give all that money back when he went
there's
to prison.
No way that Colin Kaepernick should not have a job right now.
You know, it'd be funny, but
What's
not
that?
really funny if
What's
Mike
that?
Vick gets a job and
Colin
doesn't.
God.
That's probably going to happen. Is Vick not on the team right now?
I thought he retired though, didn't he? Not retire?
Think I don't quote me on that, but I think he may have signed like for one day with the Falcons and like this.
Did something like I think I did hear something like that.
Yeah, I think he already retired. So maybe Mike's not trying to get that bread. So that kind of makes it worse because he doesn't have any more ties with the league.
Waka went at him too.
Oh yeah,
he did. He called him a duck.
Wow.
Told him that we was with you when you were going through your thing.
Right.
For you to say that.
That's a really good point, man.
It's a very good point
that Waka made. And Waka is someone too that seems to have. If you watch interviews with him now, maybe over the last year or two, like he's a real he's matured a lot, man.
Yep.
I like listening to Waka's interviews, man. Mm-hmm. He's sharp.
Yeah,
like
you can tell he's
been
up.
open to a lot of like experiences, like going over. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Yeah, he's on that EDM tour. Mm-hmm. Heavy.
Getting that money.
Yeah, shout out to Waka getting that bread. I want to jump in on the Pied Piper, as they call him, of R&B.
Interesting title he has.
Oh man, let me go through the release first, and then we can jump into some opinions. So it says, So it says R&B singer R. Kelly has been accused of holding 6 women against their will in an abusive quote unquote cult, according to the parents of several of the women and 3 former members of Kelly's inner circle, whom BuzzFeed interviewed in an explosive new report. It says 6 women live in properties rented by Kelly in Chicago and in the Atlanta suburbs. The report says, citing details from, I guess there's Cheryl Mack, it says Kitty Jones, and Asante McGee. The 3 former inner circle members are who confirmed that. They said he controls every aspect of their lives, dictating what they eat, how they dress, when they bathe, when they sleep, and how they engage in sexual encounters that he records.
Can they not leave the house?
No.
I didn't see that anywhere, but I'm assuming like they can't do anything without him giving them a command based off the report.
He gives them another phone and all this stuff.
Right. So
they're locked in the house essentially.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you guys ever seen the episode?
Because if they're not locked in the house, all of that is irrelevant because they can just walk away.
Spoolz, I'm sorry, that's the only thing I could come up with. There was a movie where they were locked in a crib.
I mean,
I ain't saying it's Jigsaw.
I think it's a little different type of situation, man.
Spoolz, don't do that.
It was fun.
I'm not saying he's Jigsaw.
It was not. It's not a funny situation, but
I'm gonna let y'all finish.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Long. Go ahead. Sorry about that. He caught me off guard with the Jigsaw joint. Spoolz trying to make me say Kel's a Jigsaw. That's not what we're here for. Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
That's not what we're here for.
Go ahead.
No, I lost train of thought where I was. I'm just trying to understand the situation
because
I don't.
What Lone was saying while you guys were having the Jigsaw conversation.
I apologize, brother.
He was saying if they're not being locked in this house, then that's a different type of situation.
Okay.
Now, I'm not sure if they're actually locked in this house, but I do know that they are consenting at age wise. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm going to say about this though.
Talk that talk, Jay Diff.
R. Kelly. This is the guy that we know has done some questionable things in the past, right?
Agreed.
Yes.
I remember there was a skit.
Allegedly.
Quote unquote.
Bunny ears in the air for those that can't see that.
We see you.
What's his name? Dave Chappelle actually did a skit on this.
Yes.
It was called Pee on You. So this
he recorded that.
When's the last time that Dave Chappelle was on TV? 04, 05?
I think earlier this year.
Because he had a special that was Netflix.
I'm just trolling.
I know.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Thanks, Sean.
Yeah.
You were saying?
But yeah, so it's been 12. That situation is at least 12 years, 12, 13
minimum
years old.
Yeah.
He was married to Aaliyah, who was 15.
How old was she?
15.
How old was she?
15. The name of her album was Age Ain't Nothing But a Number.
Yep. Oh, I like how you tied that in.
Ain't nothing but a
Interesting.
number.
So this is the same R. Kelly that we've known forever. Nothing's new.
Rolling up to your high school.
Yeah. I mean, I literally went to school with girls that said they knew R. Kelly personally, and I didn't believe them.
Why
real talk?
Let me ask you this: what made you think? And I'm coming to you, Spoolz, after this. What made you think that they weren't believable? Like, were you just like?
What do you mean?
When you said you knew the girls from like your high school, you was like, Were you like,
I mean,
I don't
just,
know, or
I
is
mean,
it kind of like,
you know, people make up stories.
Okay,
but
fair.
that's not even the whole point I'm trying to make.
I follow you.
He's the same dude.
He's the same guy.
So some new stuff came out. Some of the details are, he met the girls with their mom or something at a concert.
Mm-hmm.
They exchanged numbers, whatever. The mother was cool with it because they think they about to come up. But you put your daughter in that situation with this man that you know is on one.
Bingo.
He's on one.
Bingo.
That's kind of, so that's an interesting part about all this. So
Yeah.
everything that you're saying, I agree with. You know, like when I heard about this, I wasn't like, like, you know.
What was the coach when they got beat in the playoffs?
What?
He is. They were who we thought they were.
Yeah.
We let him off the hook.
That was
Dennis Green.
Dennis
Green.
Green about
Dennis
the
Green.
Bears when the Bears came back from
R. Kelly is the dude you thought he was.
He is.
And you let him off the hook.
Go ahead, Spoolz.
You put your daughter in a situation.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
And again, we should. You know, it's everything's alleged.
We got to say that until
I've seen the tape.
But
the tape.
Well,
is out
I've seen the
not
tape.
from like 99, 2000. I'm talking about.
Yeah, we got game film on that.
I'm like,
go ahead, Spoolz.
You know this, but that's an interesting point. Like, this isn't one of the things like where, like what happened in Cleveland some years ago when that dude had like 3 women locked up in a house and they like escaped or whatever.
Yeah.
This is like their families are coming out and like having press conferences about this stuff. So the point that you made about them, like A, being of age, and then B, like, it's not, they didn't get kidnapped.
No, because it's funny because in the press conference, the dude, they asked him, how old is your daughter? He didn't even want to say how old she was. He was like, 20, 21. She's grown.
Now,
bruh. She might be being brainwashed.
Yes.
I'm not taking anything. He probably is manipulating these people.
Oh, I'm sure.
That's fair.
I'm positive he's probably doing
He has a
that.
lot of money. He's a very successful person. You know what I mean? And obviously has a track record of
But all right, I'm gonna say this too.
Questionable activity.
I'm gonna say this too. When that article came out, when the article came out, it was calling the lady Jay.
Okay.
They kept saying Jay, referencing back to Jay.
Yeah.
Which was the parent. And then they have a press conference with the father of this girl and the mother who decides to say her name a whole day later. So if you were so into protecting yourself, why does an article come out one day where you're Jay and then you got your dad, the father, on there with his Bluetooth in his ear?
Good point on that. I'm glad you pointed that out.
Jay is saying her name.
Yeah.
Y'all put y'all daughter in a bad situation,
and that's a good.
And she took the bait.
That's a good point. I want to jump in. I want to piggyback off the parents' point because Spoolz, obviously, we always call him Mr. Accountability, because he'll keep you accountable. With the parents, I'm like, okay, so you guys were basically saying like to his point, like you guys just trying to come up, or how do we look at the parents' Spoolz? Is there a percentage here where we say, okay, we got to blame the of age young lady? To his point, do we have to talk about the parents? Like, to me, it goes hand in hand.
If you're trying to help your daughter who's in a situation that you really think she is unable to get herself out of, call the police.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if the police
sense.
can do anything because if they turn and say, can your daughter walk out the door right now if she wants to? Yes, physically she can do that.
Right. Right.
Okay, well, how old is she? She's 21. Okay, maybe the cops are like, I can't do anything. Do you have evidence that he's abusing that? You know what I mean? Sexually or physically or something along those lines. Like,
so there's layers.
I mean, he's a creep.
It's just,
everybody knows
he's a total creep, man.
Yeah.
So like,
there's no denying that. Yeah.
The parent. This could be a situation where it could end up turning out to be one of those things. R. Kelly is loaded, man.
Yeah.
It could, it's just really weird. The whole thing is really strange.
Don't put your child in a situation to where you thought you were going to come up on somebody that is a known pedophile. I mean, how else are you going to put it? I mean, you remember the interview back in the day when he was like, do you like teenage girls? He was like, what do you mean by teenage?
Yeah, I do remember that.
That right there.
What, like 19?
Or like 13? Or like 15?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, Fam's track record is...
He's out here.
Yeah,
he out there in the streets.
Is who you thought he was. He's that dude.
Yeah.
So you putting him in that situation, that's messed up. And there's some religious groups that actually are similar to what I guess R. Kelly is doing.
In terms of the cult type joint?
I mean, you got different religions that
like
have...
the Manson stuff?
I mean, that.
Or like Branch Davidian.
You got stuff right now, like there's whole TV shows on it. With a dude that has like the sister wives. He has a whole TV show around this stuff.
Pentecostals.
Yeah. Whatever they are. I don't know what they are, man.
You gotta
what are
watch
they?
Long, man.
Catholics.
He's just feeding the trolls.
I told you he's genius. He's brilliant at it.
Yeah. He's been watching what's the Attack on Titan too much. He's like just feeding people to the big
He said
with a smile on my face.
Yeah. But man, I mean,
I just don't know. I actually saw people on my timeline today that were like, well, hold on, y'all. Let's just chill for a second here. What are we chilling for?
I don't know.
You know, to that point though, maybe it's chill on the like. I mean, this is like it's like a slam dunk for anyone, right? Like just everything you just said. Everyone knows R. Kelly's a creep. His track record, you know, his history and all that. So again, like it wouldn't surprise me if somehow, some way, this ends up coming out to be like them just trying to get money out of him in some way, man.
Possibly.
That's
the alleged part. That's what we kind of have to be careful about. Now, I'm not bailing R. Kelly out.
No,
I just
understand
sat here for 5 minutes and agreed with everything about what Terry was saying, and completely, he's a creep. You know,
allegedly.
No, that's not alleged. That's
watch him, man.
That's confirmed. I do
believe,
man. Yeah,
Sean just likes stirring the pot, man.
I thank you.
That's one of his favorite. For the last, that's like one of his favorite things to do.
Yeah. You know what?
Like
man?
Secretly, he's not. He doesn't let everybody know that. Like I know when we're out somewhere, he loves stirring the pot. I kind of just look at him like
I'm so glad. I'm so glad that. This is a really great moment for me because everybody puts it on me. Like I'm the first one to. Mike is the troll king. Mike is different.
Like I keep explaining to you. This
doesn't take
we
away
already
from
did
you.
This. We did this.
Yeah. I'll accept it. It doesn't take away from you though.
No, I don't want it to take away from me.
Detract
I just
from
want. I'm just saying, man. It's good to finally hear somebody co-sign what I have known for years.
No, but it's known. We've had this conversation.
No, you don't believe it though. This
do.
This is a time where I actually think it's genuine. Like you're like, yeah, he likes to stir the pot. He's a troll. No. I've never heard you. This much conviction.
I tell him this.
It's been different earlier though.
We've had multiple conversations about this.
I think it's real this time though. I think he's genuine this time.
I think it's funny that Mike somehow felt validated by it. That's the best part of this whole thing. It's like my behavior, I'm justified.
Yeah, man. I see what's going on.
Now I do what I want. Yeah. Now I do what I want.
But yeah, man. Kales, man.
Just a weird.
It's weird.
Not good situation for everybody.
So y'all gonna stop listening to his music?
I stopped a long time ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
But then again,
you probably never did.
Huh?
I swear, and I promise this.
He never listened to R. Kelly anyway.
3 days before this came out, Sarah's my witness. We were just sitting, talking about music. You know what I mean? Just hanging out.
Yep.
And I was like, man, R. Kelly was brilliant.
Nah, he is though. That's what's crazy.
Like before this came out, 2-3 days before this came out, and she was like, I know, like, he's made amazing songs, and I think he wrote all of Genuine's music. I think, or a lot of it. He wrote for a lot of people over the years, man.
He wrote Aaliyah's first album.
Yeah.
That's an interesting conversation though, if we want to get into it.
He wrote I Believe I Can Fly.
He's a very talented artist, man.
That's a tight song.
It is.
That's a very good song.
Your Body's Calling Me is a
12 Play was a dope
Come
album.
on, man.
12 Play was a dope album.
R. Kelly actually has very good work. I'm not even gonna front on that.
That whole Closet series thing was a little.
I didn't really mess with that.
I never fool with Trapped in the Closet.
Yeah, I didn't really mess with that.
Shout out to my little cousin. I call him nephew.
Kind of related to this situation.
It is.
Yeah.
That's probably why I felt like it was weird. Him having a Trapped in the Closet series.
Sean is in prime form.
He had a Trapped in the Closet series.
You gotta watch him, man.
After all those allegations that came out. Mind you, it took like 6 years for that to go to court, right? 6 or 7 years for that case to go to court.
All right, man.
Was it that?
Hold up. Here's a question.
It was like a record length of time.
Did it just get settled civil-wise? Like, did he have to pay?
I don't even remember. The outcome was he wasn't guilty.
Yeah.
He's still in that,
couldn't prove it.
He's still in that creep life. What were you saying, Long?
No, I think it brings up a very interesting point and topic that I don't think we've talked about artists and their personal lives and holding them accountable and supporting them in their work depending on what they do in their personal lives.
And there's a lot of that, like, in all forms of art.
Exactly.
Oh, there's a lot of that in life. Politicians,
sports and everything.
Everything.
That's a very good topic. It's weird because people aren't who they are on wax. We know that, especially being involved in the hip hop culture. There are a lot of dudes that are nowhere near what they are on wax, but it's like, do we hold them accountable for that? Do we separate the art from who they actually are? Because we know there's a lot of clowns out there, but there may be some clowns out there that make dope music.
I think there's a difference between holding somebody accountable and where was
supporting.
I going? Yeah, I mean,
ignoring what.
Like, I personally can't do it.
Okay.
If you do something that is crazy that I don't agree with personally, that goes against my moral values.
You got morals in.
It's because I have morals and
Yeah.
Quote Terry.
Said now.
Yeah, we see.
No, but like, I have a really hard time doing that in general. Period. Okay. Even with that XXX10, whatever that dude's name is.
He wouldn't get the time of day from me.
I don't know, dude.
I know there's levels to certain things. I know there's lots of allegedlys and all that stuff as well too.
There's age that comes into some of that. That doesn't justify.
Joey Badass is a very young man, so I always use him when somebody brings up age. He's a very young man.
He's gotten older.
He has gotten older, but he's still young, man. But go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean that's just.
What about that? What about
curious?
Yeah, what does that mean?
What I'm saying is, I don't use age as an art, like because somebody's young.
He's very.
He's young, but he doesn't do stupid stuff.
Yeah,
that's what
I
I'm
agree
saying.
With that. Yeah.
Like, because I know a lot of people will say, "Well, you got to give these kids a chance," and I'm like, Outkast was 21, 22 when they made ATLiens.
They was younger than that when they made
19, 20.
Nas was what? Like still in high school. Really.
Nas was like 19 or 18 on Illmatic, so miss 17. Me with the age. I don't buy it.
He is young. He's only 22.
Yeah. So I'm not
Nas
going.
was 17 when he did Illmatic.
Yeah. So when everybody tells me leave the young kids alone, the young kids could have common sense as well.
No, one thing that I just kind of take into consideration is there's certain so take this XXX-Tentacion guy and what he did.
Good job on that.
How old is this dude? 18, 19 years old, 17, 18, 19 years old?
Somebody told me
what he did was not cool. Apparently assaulted his girlfriend or a girl or something along those lines. When I hear that from and I'll have something really interesting to back this up to tie it into something else. When I hear that out of a 17, 18, 19-year-old, I'm like, God, that's sad. That sucks that happened. That's unfortunate. He shouldn't have done that. When I hear that from a 40-year-old, it's different for me.
That's fair.
You should know better when you're 17, 18, 19. You absolutely should know better when you're 40 years old.
Without a shadow of a doubt, right?
So one thing I'll tie this back to is, so I think I posted in our community, which everyone should join by subscribing and donating to our Patreon, please and thank you.
Yes.
Was the Jimmy Iovine, Dr. Dre 4-part series that's on HBO, the Defiant Ones, which is I've enjoyed it. I've watched the first 2.
It's dope.
Yeah,
the whole thing.
Dr. Dre D Barnes thing.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Dre doesn't seem like a bad dude to me.
Nah.
Right.
He said verbatim in that. I mean, he was young when he did what he did to D Barnes, man. And he said it literally is this cloud that's hung over him his entire life. He's been very accountable to it.
Mm-hmm.
He looked the camera. He's apologized to her. He said, I have to live with this for the rest of my life.
He said anybody that put their hands on a woman is an idiot.
Yep, exactly.
I'm an idiot.
Yep.
Shout out to
That's
Dre.
exactly what he said.
That's accountability.
Keyword. What you just said though is he took accountability for that.
Yeah.
So at that point, at the moment where he he says that he's accountable for that and he accepts that.
Right.
That changes things a little bit.
Yes, it does. It makes
if you continue, I was
gonna say it doesn't rectify anything.
No, it doesn't rectify.
What I was gonna say was it shows he's a genuine person that knows he made a mistake and admitted it.
I can respect that though. I can respect that.
It's character and exactly.
I can respect that though.
We all make mistakes on different varying levels and degrees,
especially when you're young.
Yeah,
and they've had to have had some kind of reconciliation based on that because she's in there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure she got. I imagine she got paid from all that.
There's not even just that, but like I'm sure that they've probably talked about that.
Sure. Yes.
Because they were actually friends before that happened.
Oh yeah.
There's no way she's in that taping and that recording if they haven't had some sort of hashing it out somewhere in the past, right? Like even bread or not, like there's no way they're going to be, you know what I'm saying, willing to do something like that. I don't think.
I would agree. But back to the original point that you guys were talking about, or that, you know, the idea of people's, you know, personal lives and you know, versus maybe just from a music standpoint, just their music. I have a hard time, like if you act like a sucker and you're like an idiot, you know, in the public or whatever, and I know that sometimes brings you fans and brings you attention and does all that other stuff. Like it's hard for me to care as much about listening to your music. There's not too many people that, again, going back to what I said before, that haven't, you know, like, and again, at the end of the day, we don't know everything everyone's done.
Agreed.
You know, at the end. But if I know something like that about an artist, like, it does impact how much I like that artist, or if I'm even going to listen to their music that much anymore.
And I'm going to bring up another
I don't know if that's
person.
right or wrong or good or bad, but that's how I feel. I do. It's like the whole package for me.
I respect that.
You know?
I'm going to bring up somebody else. So us being part of the hip hop community or whatever.
Sure.
One of the so-called pioneers, well, I can't even say so-called, one of the pioneers, which is
that's
African Bambaataa. There's been allegations against him within the past year or so.
Heavy allegations.
It's been going on. It's been going on. Like apparently, it's kind of been known for like years. I remember hearing rumblings about this when I was like 21, 22 years old.
I don't remember hearing anything about this up until like
the
past couple years.
No, not to the level that it was.
Yeah, not to the level that it is now.
And there has to be some point where you look at it and be like, okay, there may be some kind of
It has changed. I'll put it to you this way. It's changed my perception of Africa Bambaataa.
Yeah.
And has nothing to do with the fact that it was homosexual activity. It has everything to do with the fact that he was over 18 and some of these kids weren't.
Yeah.
Like that's not, you know, you have a conscience, you know,
it's not
right
cool,
or wrong,
man.
No, you don't get a pass for that.
Yeah. Like
that's
him being, if
cool.
he's gay or not, I don't care. I really don't. That doesn't matter at all to me. But like, and apparently it's just kind of been this known thing, allegedly, amongst like certain Zulu Nation cats.
Yeah.
And like that's not cool either.
That's not acceptable.
If you've been kind of knowing about some of this stuff, you know what I mean? Like that's super foul, man. You know, and that has changed my like. I had a good discussion with a cat we, you know, most of us I think know, but who I'll just say was a major part of a Zulu Nation chapter here. That when him and I talk every so often, like, but he was almost kind of like, because of the role Bambaataa played in hip hop, it almost had him questioning like hip hop in a way sometimes. You know what I mean? Because that went on, it wasn't obviously like Zulu Nation maybe not have been as pure and all, you know, as they're kind of made out to be in the lore of hip hop history.
I never honestly was a Zulu Nation fanboy though.
I met Africa Bambaataa about 10 years ago.
Really?
I have a picture with him. I met him in Muncie. There was an event up there where he DJ'd. Shouts to Top Speed. My man Merc Versus was there, if I'm not mistaken. But, you know, and it was cool for me. It was Bambaataa, man. It's like meeting, like Kool Herc was supposed to be here a few years ago. That would be, that's awesome.
He's
that's
actually retweeted bringing down the band stuff. Kool Herc.
That's awesome, man. But it didn't have, you know, it was just a discussion I had with this particular person, just a really good talk.
Man, I mean, he's not the end all be all of hip hop.
Right.
That's the thing. Like, I'm cut from the original hip hop cloth and kind of grew. I mean, not from like the early 70s and all that, but I mean, like early stuff, Run DMC, LL Cool J, Houdini, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I never was a big or was aware of like Africa Bambaataa other than like a couple songs. I wasn't really into the Zulu Nation like that. But I can understand a piece of that being, you know, important enough for somebody to be like, why I kind of question hip hop. He wasn't the only one that started.
Right.
I mean, it was different pieces to that puzzle.
he was such a building block and a foundational piece of hip hop, though.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, he's, you've got obviously Herc, but then you have people like,
Flash,
Busy Bee, Flash, Fab Five Freddy, the Treacherous Three, like all these groups, you know what I mean, that from back in those days or whatever, and I guess I'll kind of, not questioning hip hop, not like the legitimacy of hip hop as an art or anything like that, but just kind of being like, like
what it was founded on.
Yeah. Like because of just, kind of, we had that discussion. It was just kind of interesting. I mean, it doesn't change my love of hip hop, but you're just like, oh man, the Zulu Nation was one of these things. It's like they are hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and it's.
Let me ask y'all this though. So, I came up on the Cosby Show.
Sure.
And to this day, it's still one of my favorite all-time shows ever.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was known that Bill Cosby was on one, or whatever.
Said. That's what they say.
It goes back to what did you say, Sean?
What's that word? Allegedly, of course.
All right.
Because he beating cases left and right.
All right. So
he's supposed to.
And it kind of goes back to when you hear a lot of it, it has to be some kind of truth behind it.
Right.
And I can't give Bill a pass because of the impact that he kind of had with me growing up and me loving the show.
Absolutely.
And you can't include that in, you know what I'm saying?
Dog, the Cosby Show is one of the best.
But the show is still a staple.
It's still a staple.
The Cosby Show is one of the best sitcoms ever. Like, it's probably top 5 sitcoms period. So when you think about what the Cosby Show stood for, the black family, the prominent family, the kids, college, like,
which led to a different world.
Exactly. You beat me to it with the different world. Like, so much stuff came from, like, the Cosby Show is like a cultural phenomenon. Like, we all grew up on
Albert?
that.
Yeah. I used to rent Fat Albert tapes.
That's what I'm saying. Like, none of that's gonna change for me. Like, I think, like, to what Lone talked about, at some point you have to be able to separate the two. Like, the dude that's out here in the club and kicking it and whatever the allegations were has nothing to do with Cliff Huxtable in the tuxedo dancing to James Brown. Like, that's embedded in my mind as a child. Like, I think the Cosby Show is always going to be iconic.
That's fine, but I don't think that has anything to do with your support now.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give you an example.
That's cool.
Michael Jordan was like my hero as a child.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of still remember the time when I started realizing Michael Jordan might not be the greatest person in the world.
Oh my God.
And it has kind of changed it for
There's
me
a
just
whole bunch of
bit.
talks that are
I'll still love to go I'll still love to go back and just interview. I mean, like, things Michael's done himself.
We've actually seen the interviews.
Like, I'm not he's not the worst person in the world, but he's like,
What was
he's an asshole, man.
What was
Mike
that?
is untouchable.
He is, but at the end of the day,
to Bulls fans,
I'm, I would go. I'd still love watching old Bulls games, old Jordan games. Like, if I happen to catch him on ESPN, like, you better believe I'm watching his 63-point game or his 69-point game. There's a difference though
between being an asshole and being someone that really makes bad decisions in life.
Well, yeah, there's a difference between being a jerk and doing illegal and foul things to human beings.
Yeah, that's
absolutely,
the word.
Totally.
Give you another person.
But we're talking character.
Woody Allen
and
was out here bad.
Yeah,
bad. He dipped.
Yeah, he was out here bad.
Yeah,
Woody was out there bad.
But they still like rant and rave about his movies. Like, well.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. What is that? Maybe that's just the power sometimes of entertainment in our society.
I mean, it definitely is.
I think we're just fallible as humans.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, I try my best to hold everybody accountable while still being compassionate as much as possible.
That's a good way to say it.
But if I watch a Woody Allen movie and I'm up on the information based upon what was being made behind that movie, I may, it's different, like you said. Like, if I watched this movie 400 times when I was a child,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if something came out about Bill Murray and Ghostbusters, it would shatter me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
totally.
So
I agree.
But it's there are levels to it, but at the same time, it doesn't mean that I'm going to support him now. And and it doesn't mean that I won't necessarily like his old work either. It just means that
the Kramer thing that happened when he was yelling racial slurs. Like if I catch a Seinfeld episode, I don't see him the same.
Yeah,
that's fair.
But that's part of it, though. I guess you're not supposed to, though.
So do you?
Right.
All right. Let me ask you this. So with these people, these individuals, I mean, there's more, but we brought up a few of them during this episode. Do you leave their bodies of work alone based on?
That's a tough one.
What they've done versus their artistry.
Expand on leaving their bodies of work alone. Like,
so that would mean you're not watching the Cosby Show anymore.
Okay.
You're not listening to R. Kelly.
Right.
Or you're not watching Woody Allen movies or whatnot. You're not listening to any Zulu Nation.
I think that's subjective. That's a choice that's going to vary per person.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also on severity of what it was they did.
Yeah, like that's going to depend on, to Spoolz' point about the severity of the act, and then also, like you said, how much said movie, said show may have influenced you. It's going to be different per person.
You made the point too when I was talking about Jordan. Michael Jordan's just an a-hole.
Mm-hmm.
Michael Jordan didn't allegedly molest anyone.
Right. Exactly.
But there's levels too, and it stems into other conversations about other things, about who we support.
Right.
And it goes way beyond just artistry.
Yeah.
It goes to political, things that people support politically.
Right.
Grab them by the...
like if you support, it could go down the line of, let's just say, for example, back in January, there was a whole list of banks that supported the Dakota Access Pipeline.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And somebody did all the research. You could look that up, and you can see every single bank that is financing that.
Yes.
Everybody has a bank account. Everybody needs a bank account.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to sacrifice?
Are you closing that account? Are you closing those investments?
Are you closing it? Are you doing that or not?
Yeah.
Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, our investments and our personal.
Yeah.
Are you going to buy
whatever
products from a company that has known to use, like forced labor overseas? It's a similar kind of.
I think it stems deeper than. I think it goes into the psyche of human beings in general, especially us as Americans.
There to Lone's point, this is multiple layers. There are multiple layers to the question that you brought up. This entire topic, because if you think about it, if you just break it down to us here in this room, you were able to go 3 or 4 different ways. He went 3 or 4 different ways. You went 3 or 4 different ways, and so did I. So I'm speaking to your point, giving you credit, because that's a very good point. There are mad layers on this.
Yeah.
There are so many layers on this.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
So to the listeners, like, even if y'all comment, like, anything.
This is a good discussion.
I'd love to see comments on this. I would love to see comments on this.
I think I don't know. The compassion thing is the thing that always comes back to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's easy just to say, nah, screw these people.
Yeah.
But then it's just like, people make mistakes.
Yep.
And that's a human point. That's a human point.
So where's the line?
I'll say this on the opposite, kind of, again, more trying to, like, on the positive side, I guess, of this. When I find out, here, I'll give you an example. I like, Killer Mike, what we opened the show with, man.
Yep.
Like, has Killer Mike done things wrong in his life? Yes.
Sure.
But Killer Mike seems to make it a point and prioritizes being a person of high character in his life. That shines through everything with everything he does, it seems.
I mean, he's obviously not done anything that's crazy ridiculous. Because,
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, he's been on campaign trails, and that if somebody's on a campaign trail and there's something about them, it's definitely going to come out.
Right. Oh,
that's part of the game in politics.
Yeah. No doubt about it. Something is going to rear its head.
But Cosby was kind of the same way, wasn't he? Or no?
Who Cosby? Politically?
I guess he always had rumblings throughout
politically,
the years.
You mean?
Nah, I'm just talking about things.
Oh, things popping up. Okay.
I guess it was supposedly known in Hollywood
that
this was going on. And I know a lot more, and I'm not even like giving Cosby a pass, but in the time that he was coming up, the Quaaludes and all that, that was something that they all did.
That's a different era.
Yeah.
Definitely a different area. And is coming back to haunt him right now.
Doesn't mean that it was right.
Exactly.
That's
the key
right
point.
there.
But it was a different era.
That's it right there. And that all goes back to.
And if you don't know anybody that has stories about Quaaludes, then
I can't
ask
relate.
some people because I've had people tell me stories about Quaaludes. So
people wanted Quaaludes.
They wanted that stuff. So
yeah, but I'm not trying to be a dick, but
maybe not necessarily.
People didn't
like
want
that.
to get drugged with them.
There you go. Well,
well, definitely not. No,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of those accounts though.
See, I'm not super familiar.
There's that too. I wasn't going. I wasn't even going.
I try to also very much so with a lot of this stuff. Like I haven't followed. I don't care about Bill Cosby's life that much. Do you know what I mean?
It kind of affected me a little bit.
You know, I understand. That's fine. But
for different reasons.
Yeah.
Understood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we also have a tendency, and I think maybe Lone or Tech, I can't remember, somebody touched on this, like in this country to like this is entertainment for people right now, man.
I mean, that's what
it's weird.
This is built on. One of the biggest news platforms in America is TMZ right now.
Yeah.
I mean, you just read an article that was broken on BuzzFeed.
Exactly.
It's not a good look, man.
You know, like I was like, they have services that do that.
It was definitely BuzzFeed.
You know, the OJ trial, there were people that didn't. I'm sure we've probably all seen or watched or like that FX series, which was good.
That was a great series.
But like, there were people that thought it was a show.
Yeah. Nah, that was for real.
There were people that thought it was a show. When it was going on.
Yeah.
Like they said productivity.
Well, that was the first one. That was the first time that I think a court case was actually broadcasted like that.
They said productivity literally in the country. Like companies lost productivity over a murder trial where two people got like viciously slain.
Entertainment.
Man.
I think this will be something that we might be able to do. We've been in the business of part 2s, so maybe this is something we can jump into.
I'd be curious to see how
episode.
people. Again, this is just a discussion. Like this wasn't planned. This just led. I think Lone
that's a
kind
good
of
topic.
treed this off. I mean, and this is something I'll think about. I'm sure you guys do too. Like after this too. Like it's just. It's a human thing, man.
We got about 3 minutes, so I want to pay some bills here real quick before we get out of here. The hat that is up here from No Bad Ideas is the Raven Flex Fit hat, I believe is the name. So shout out to No Bad Ideas. It's got the knit joint on the back as well, so it's kind of old school with the Flex Fit. So we appreciate them for taking care of us with that product. They do a great job with us. We got a couple local things as well. I know we talked about. Jay Diff, you got Wine After Work, is that right?
Yes, sir. Wine After Work will be Friday.
Okay, it'll be Friday. So
from
it'll be tomorrow.
6 to 10. Okay. We're scheduled from 6 to 10.
Where's that at?
But we usually go to 11. It's at the Red Room.
Okay. Shout out to Printfinity as well. He's got some dope shirts for Wine After Work. So y'all stay tuned.
We'll actually be giving a couple shirts away at Wine After Work. So.
Ooh, I see you over there, boy, getting the bread. You said the homie J.O. at the show as well, Spoolz, right?
Yeah, man. Shout out to my man Omega, and then Public Radio, and then my big bro J.O. performing at the 𝐀𝐿𝐴 Friday, July 21st. So maybe after Wine After Work, walk right down the street to the 𝐀𝐿𝐴.
All right.
And check out that show.
I think
DJ Obi-Wan is also going to be on
at the 𝐀𝐿𝐴.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a show there in a while.
Yeah, that's actually, I think my man Omega literally like in the post is saying like hip hop's coming back to Broad Ripple almost.
The last time
I
I saw hip hop there was the Broad Ripple Music Fest.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
nice.
Shouts to everybody, man.
It was a fun show.
Maybe it'll come back.
Should be a good show. Definitely will be a good show, I'm sure.
Lone, you got tonight will be the build for you, right?
Thursday night, July 20th. The build at 𝐀𝐿𝐴 Institute.
Okay.
It's off like 35th and Boulevard, right next to Crown Hill.
So that's
cemetery.
open. That's open for everybody, right?
Open for everybody. It's just a discussion on community and hip hop and music in general, and just building.
Now, can people that are included or involved in like the arts come as well, or is
anybody
it just?
Can come.
Oh, so it's not just like hip hop.
So we have a featured artist every time.
Okay.
That showcases some sort of art, photography.
Do you know who's going to be in there this time?
Wild Style will be featured with his photography.
Oh, shout out to homie
for all 317 hip hop. He's been there actually at pretty much every event that we've had so far.
Nice.
But yeah, so it's from 6:30 to roughly 8:30 or so.
Okay.
It's a good networking event. You know, it's hosted by myself, but Stacia and Diop. So Diop is back from Ghana, so he will be there.
Nice.
Shout out to the homie Diop, man.
Yes, sir.
I still think we should show that brother love, him and Man Dog, for that Spike Lee placement. That's that's big right there.
Need to get a Diop shirt.
Yeah. Oh, he's got that merch as well, doesn't he?
He does.
He's got a little promotion thing right now where you can get some shirts.
All right, shout out to the homie Diop. So that's gonna wrap up episode 38, the 38th Street episode. Make sure you guys bong. Make sure you guys subscribe to our Patreon page. It starts as low as $1, people.
Patreon.com/newoldheads.
Yes, we got plenty of merch. We got plenty of giveaways. It's a good time. Y'all come in there and kick it with us. Lonegevity, DJ Jay Diff, DJ Spoolz. I am Major 7th. Please go to YouTube as well. Subscribe. And we appreciate you guys for supporting. And we'll see you next week. Peace.
And get your teeth done at Coleman Dental.
Look out now.
And get a hat from No Bad Ideas.
And get a shirt from Printfinity.